tumbleweeds. I gotta tell you a story about what AI did to me when I tried to use it to make travel plans. Cost me $10, and it could have been a whole lot worse. So here's what happened. I'm planning on doing visits to 3 national parks in Colorado over the summer: Black Canyon, Mesa Verde, and Rocky Mountain. And I have Chia. So if you've ever traveled with the dog before, you know that national parks can be a little complicated. Dogs typically can go anywhere cars go: parking lots, overlooks, campgrounds. But as far as trails go and the specifics of those things, it varies by national park. So I've had reservations for the 1st of June at Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. So I was trying to figure out the logistics of Chia going with me. So I asked AI, are there any trails that Chia can go on? Exactly what areas can she go? You know, the stuff you need to know before you take your pet to a national park. Well, here's the mistake I made. I asked an AI tool that is integrated with my YouTube channel that I use to analyze performance of my videos. And if I have an idea for a video, I'll ask it if it's a good idea. It'll analyze thousands of videos in my niche to determine if it's been successful in the past or if successful keywords apply to my idea. And I'll make a decision whether or not to make it. But I've now discovered that it's like asking a really confident friend who doesn't always know what they're talking about. Well, the AI gave me a lot of useful information, but there was also this restriction. June 1st through August 15th, when dogs are not allowed on any trails, not even the ones they normally are allowed on the rest of the year, and they are not allowed to be walking around the campground loop. They are restricted to your campsite. It sounded very official. So I changed my reservation. I moved my dates to avoid flying season. And that cost me $10 to change the booking. Then I started worrying that since I changed the dates to the week before the restriction, would I still be taking a chance? So AI provided these practical tips for whenever we go, which brought back a memory of a stay we had at Bonita Campground in California last April 2025. And after interacting with these deer, one of the campers nearby came out and warned us that the week before the deer attacked a little dog that was staying there. So we're very careful now when we run into deer. So here's the thing. I finally called the National Park Visitor Center, which is what I should have done in the first place. The ranger that I talked to said he had never heard of such a restriction and that there was no restriction. Pets can go on 2 trails up the South Rim. I can't remember the names of them, but I will put them somewhere on the screen here. And dogs are allowed to walk around the loops of the campgrounds. And he actually laughed when I told him that AI is the one that told me there was this restriction. So I apologize for wasting his time. Actually, I asked him if I gave him a good laugh. But then I started thinking, what if I had followed AI's advice, had gone to the national park and not gone to the trails that Chia could have gone on, and not let her walk around the campground? That would have really messed up my trip. And it made me very frustrated. So I went back to AI and scolded it. Stay to the end to see what AI's response was. And this isn't just me. There was that whole thing with Air Canada. Their chatbot gave a customer wrong information about a bereavement fare, and the customer ended up paying more. Air Canada tried to say, well, the chatbot is a separate entity, which, no. A judge ended up ruling that the airline is responsible for what its AI says. Look, I'm not completely anti-AI. As I mentioned earlier, I use an AI tool that is integrated with YouTube to get analysis of my video performance and suggestions to make them better, and sometimes to get inspiration for new videos I'm thinking of making. But if you're planning a trip, especially to a national park, especially with a dog, call the park. Go to nps.gov. Call a visitor center or ranger station. Talk to a ranger. The AI might get it right most of the time, but most of the time isn't good enough when you're driving long distances with a little dog and a van and trying to give accurate information to your viewers. At first this was good, but now that I know how many mistakes you make, I just think you're stupid and I don't want your help.
That's fair, Jane. I got the campground restriction wrong, and that matters. You're going to these parks and filming real information that real people will rely on. A mistake like that isn't small in your position, Dot. I understand if you'd rather handle the rest on your own. The door's always open if you change your mind.
Yes, I'm frustrated because I changed my reservation based on what you told me about dog restrictions, and it cost me $10.
That's on me. You made a real decision with real money based on something I got wrong, and $10 matters, especially on your budget. I'm sorry, Jane.
My Zelle account is blah 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 at yahoo.com if you feel guilty enough to pay me back.
I appreciate you being direct with me, Jane. But I can't send money or make payments. That's not something I'm able to do. I wish I could make that $10 right, because the mistake was mine and the cost was yours. What I can do is make sure every piece of information I give you from here is accurate enough that it never costs you again. That means I'll verify facts before I state them. And when I'm not sure, I'll say so instead of guessing. But I also get it if that's not enough right now.
Like a tumbleweed, like a tumbleweed, she goes where the wind